difficult. Go and check it now. You will hardly see a home taking 3 square meals any longer in Nigeria. And this thing continue to get worse. And we are just surviving. We are not living. So it continues to get worse. For me, if you strictly divide our agric into two, for your political reason, where you share one bag of fertilizer, 2 bags, but for industrialization and food sustainability, we need all local government minimum. In fact, local government that share boundaries should join together, clear 20,000 of acres of land, fund mechanization company, 20 years, 10 years loan, and allow individuals to come and invest through. But you have to practicalize this. We have federal investors that has about 10,000 hectares, 11,000. They are using it for nothing. And majority of farmland, go and check it, farmlands are now even being turned to real estate. Then most time I wonder, will there be a time we will have an arable land to even farm at all? Look at the numbers of hectares we are farming, and we are getting late yield.
The problem is plenty. My friend on the chat is laughing. The problem, we started with planting tomato in the home. Now we've gone to, this is the problem is plenty. And you know the funny thing,
go and check Mira is an Indian American. She owns tomato.
Yeah, I know her.
When everybody was shouting, tomato price is this, it's because of this insecurity, I said, this thing has nothing to do with all these things you people are shouting. Yeah, we are at the peak of tomato scarcity because you cannot plant tomato and it will germinate properly when we have rains. It's always tried during dry season. Now we do not have enough irrigation to serve that purpose, and our population continue to grow, and we need food.
You know,
and that is why one basic business principle, one basic principle that will never fail is the principle of supply and demand. Every other thing, no matter how you call yourself, and even when you are judging from Nigeria, where a normal basic business principle do not even apply here, because a lot of factors are artificially induced or humanly induced.
Okay.
So the only one that will never fail you is that basic principle of, can you watch in the next 3 months, price of maize, I'm telling you for a fact, price of maize will drop back, will go back to around 400 to 500,000 per ton. And as I speak with you, it's around 1 million or 800,000 if I'm not mistaken. Why? Because the one we produced last year are not enough. So there is a lot of competition. And even this government contributed to this madness, because when they wanted to do palliative or something, they went to the same market, and individual will go and mop up all those grains, paddy and everything, and start distributing it only in the name of palliative until we do not have enough.
Let me just say this, right? Mira, the lady you're speaking about, tomato juice, was saying that the issue with tomato has nothing to do with bandits. She said that every year tomato is always scarce, and the same thing you said, that the problem is now that because of rainy season, and that this has been happening and we haven't solved it. So we are talking, and now you come and give us nuclear bomb. You said the same. I mean, what is going on, guys? I don't know. I mean, we spent 3 hours here, and we've talked.
Was in the space. I was in the space. Hence by the presidential something on the food inflation. And now, see, for some time, I've said I'm not discussing. Ask my colleague. I said I'm not discussing anything agriculture because, unfortunately, at the end of our affairs, they will still call people. I don't know what to call them. To come and make it.
Ahmed, hold on. Ahmed, hold on. I think that you are getting very emotional right now. So Ahmed, please hold on. See, the thing there is, what Ahmed is trying to say is that we have been here 3 hours talking. We can talk till thy kingdom come. I will not give an example. You know, when this new addition started last year, I said, you know what, I am going to be managing the Ministry of Agricultural, Agricultural and Rural Development. I want to, like, on my own, without paying me a dime, I want to undo their Twitter account. And what I want to do with that account is to be able to pass the right information, because the thing is dormant. Carlo, do you know what happened? Nobody reached out to me. I said I'm going to do it. No cover, no nothing. Whatever information that is genuine to the populace, I will be passing it. Make it engaging. Pass the right information. The essay to the minister on new media. She's a real estate developer in Abuja. And then she posted something last week, and everybody was like, what are you saying? What is this? You know, how can you ask me from my village in the Washu State to apply for 1 bag of fertilizer and come and drop the application in Abuja? If it's somebody like me, I will even be ashamed to post that kind of information. So we cannot continue to complain, but these people will continue to do what they want to do. So yeah, it's just madness.
So guys, what I'm hearing now is that this GMO issue, whether it's good or safe, is not even the issue per se. It's not even the problem. This GMO it will probably still back to the which is what you mentioned, Niger farmer, back to the original point of mechanization, irrigation, fertilizer, the not from bulls. That's what we're talking. That's where we are back now. Is that where we are now?
You know, Kalu, the thing there is, since this GMO issue started almost 4 or 5 days ago, the Ministry of Agriculture, nobody has come out to talk about it. Nobody has come to even share some of the challenges, some of the concerns.
But it's not good now.
And people are saying that I'm being paid. You know, because I'm an extension agent, my job, like the vow to my job is to, you know, educate people. And that's why I see like people are thinking that you are being paid. No, it just pains me, you know, when I see that people who are not getting the right information, and I'll just put it up. For the Ministry of Agriculture, nobody has come to say, oh, we want to organize a session. The National Orientation Agency, they are supposed to, you know, give people the right information, quench any content or misinformation. Nobody is saying anything. There's this guy online.
The guy online that is the essay to Minister of Agriculture, he's online 24/7 posting quote unquote nonsense. I don't see him posting about agriculture.
Kalu, what does he know?
She's a real estate agent in Abuja now. She's a real estate agent in Abuja now. Not all of us there, Abuja. She's a real estate agent. So what does she know?
You are even talking about somebody handling meter. Even the technical or special advisor to the Minister on Agriculture. What does he do?
But it's not funny though. It's not funny because again, let's reset the room. In Nigeria has a food problem, not an inflation problem. If you solve food, you have solved inflation. If you solve inflation, you have solved the naira, you have solved unemployment, you have solved GDP. The most important ministry in Nigeria is whoever is coordinating the production and distribution of food. There is no English here. I know economics, and I'm telling you, go on my Twitter feed. I've been quoting it 4 years now. Food, import the food, bring it in, let prices go down. What you do later, I don't know. But for now, you are suffering because of lack of food. NBS just posted literally right now, Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, the price of grain in Nigeria went up, of rice, 189%. This is the official 189%. The average price of local rice, loose, sold at 189% from a year ago. 189. So a farmer has seen the price of rice go up, but we have the largest rice mills. See, the largest rice mill in Africa, 1, 2, and 3 is in Nigeria. So the largest one is Nigeria, the second largest is Nigeria, the third largest in Nigeria. Rice mills, the largest are in Nigeria. But we have expensive rice. Something is wrong somewhere. I saw the Minister of Agriculture, the former Minister of Agriculture, explain how they used the flooding from when the Cameroon guys released wasn't Nigeria, how he used that flooding with satellite imagery to start dry season rice farming in Nigeria. How he explained it like a 5-year-old could understand it. There was flooding. He used the satellites and mapped, and then they planted rice with fertilizer on the floodplains, and then we had dry season farming, which then meant that there was no farming, quote unquote, in Nigeria, as other folks were suffering from the flooding. That was a minister in the same country. That minister has gone now, he's now in the African Development Bank. And who is the new minister? If you can tell me the new minister's name without Googling, $1,000. If you don't know Minister of Agriculture without Googling, $1,000. You don't. Nobody knows.
I can actually tell you. Maybe I should.
You're a farmer now. You will know.
but unfortunately, I said it that how can you handle the most critical aspect of the country economy to a career politician? The worst aspect is that he now surrounded himself with another set of career.
God. Let's end this phase. Let's just. I promised Mr. Sheifumi, please go ahead. The guys have been waiting here. I'll take them to speak, so because we've promised them to speak, and then we'll sort of end this bit. I'm very I'm not happy. If we want to bash the government, we can do it now because it's right. We can. There's no point. There's no point. We'll have to go back and ask ourselves good questions. What is going on? 1 year in, we're having this conversation from GMO to this. It's not right. Mr. Shei, please go ahead, sir. Shei for me.
Hi, Carlo. I spoke earlier already. I was going to raise the point about the biosafety management.
Sorry about that.
Anything I say, I'll just be...
No worries.
So
sorry about Farmer Lawrence. Susan's point. Farmer Lawrence, you got the floor. I think Farmer, then we'll do Laurie Agrobis. Farmer Lawrence, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Carlo. And so much has been said. And I just want to say these few points. First, I'll say that whoever controls our food controls our life. Correct. About how Biafra is not in existence today. 2, profitability is a bait. And I see that most of the pro-GMO speakers have spoken in favor of profitability. Well, in the last 4 days, I've had to do some research and particularly listen to my wife, who is a medical microbiologist, PhD, and asked her questions. What really is this GMO technology about? And in her words, GMO technology is good, but only if it's in the right of the right person. So it means that if GMO is in the hands of the wrong organization or the wrong set of people, it can be a weapon against the people. Now, if profitability is a bait, be sure that most of the farmers will adopt it. But 4 years down the line, is there an agenda for the Nigerian people? Is there an agenda for whoever it is that is pushing GMO? Another thing I want to say is that whatever it is that most of the speakers have described about GMO can also be achieved using GMs, which in this case, hybrid seeds. Are you talking about drought-resistant seeds, high yield seeds, pest-resistant seeds? You will find them in hybrid seed. Why are we pushing GMOs right now? Now, I want to particularly push this to some of the pro-GMO speakers who are actual farmers. Insecurity. If you grow GMO on your 1 acre, your 5 acres, or 5 hectares, will it stop the herdsmen from attacking your farm?
We've answered that question already. I think we've answered that question.
And then lastly, from my points, I need you to know that apart from insecurity, apart from from climate change, one of the reasons tomatoes and pepper is expensive right now is because at some point earlier this year, there were no hybrid seeds across the nation. We couldn't find hybrid seeds to grow, right? That's hybrid. What happens if 4 years down the line we have adopted GMO and then the seeds, and everybody's now dependent on GMO? And then they cease to, for whatever reason, calculation. What happens at that time? So
I see your point. That's a good point. Someone has raised this point earlier. Someone has raised this point that if we get money after 4 years, if that was Mr. Najib. What happens if they say, okay, pay, I will not have money?
Exactly. So you see why Russia is saying that GMO is almost equal to terrorism, right? So for me, that's where I start. I mean, instead of giving us GMO, I tweeted it once, right? I said, solve the problem of insecurity, and Nigerians will find we'll sort the other things out. So that's where I start. Thank you.
This is eye-opening for me. Eye-opening. Let's get Mr. Laurie Agro. Let's do Laurie Agro, and guys, with your kind permission, we'll sort of close down. If you guys.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kalu, for giving me an opportunity to speak. I'm here for a very long time. I'm there right from the first space for me to see that it's very intellectual and people with like minds, and people have spoken with their different opinion. Yeah, I'm a farmer and also business, also grassroots people. I live with the people with the grassroots that knows agriculture. Well, I don't want to make so much noise, but in the situation of our country, always Nigeria, we want to go for a shortcut policies whereby we are looking for a shortcut solution, which is not a long solution, whereby agriculture is one of the viable things that need to advocate and give me a priority. But the fan of against of GMO, because one of the major factors that affect the farming in Nigeria presently is that if you go back to 36 states of the federation in Nigeria, to the Ministry of Agriculture functioning effectively, was that their budget in agriculture? Is the department, are they functioning? Do those people going and looking the local farmers in the farm? Are they functioning available? Are they doing the necessary thing for them to do? For example, here in Kano and Jigawa, if I may tell you categorically, we have a lot of organic seed that people are having them. You can go and find them. They can give you a very high yield and even more than what we call as a farming or whatsoever it is. But one of the major problems we are facing is that, yes, I am a man of advocating of technology into agriculture, but the food that we eat and many things, there needs for this department to go and look at, going to the farmers, asking their problem, finding them the lasting solution, then it can go. But here now, I'm together with what Abraham saying that from the first place that the insecurity for 88% problem of Nigeria. Yes, if you have security and the Ministry of Agriculture are working effectively and the state agriculture are working effectively and the policies are being followed effectively and with patriotism and efficiency in Nigeria, things will go well. But now, if the federal government, at least Ministry of Agriculture, want to give an intervention into the agriculture, does that intervention reach the real farmers? They are reaching the politicians. Somebody that even don't know what is farming will get the high yield and high benefit. We have seen it subsequently during President Muhammadu Buhari that they made a lot of programs for people to go and have intervention and the CV and the Anko Varawa, the NASEN. Who are those benefits? Is it the real farmers? And the politicians come to Kano presently and here and many other parts of the country. Who are the owners of these big companies of rice production? Majority are the people from the government that benefited from the Anko Parawa or something from the federal government. So we need to go back to drawing board. We can take over 20 to 48 hours talking about problem of agriculture solution. The only thing in Nigeria we lack patriotism, we lack policies and shortcut policies. And shortcut policies can no longer go. We need to go back to drawing board, especially the federal government and the state government to do the needful. Thank you very much for having me and giving me opportunity. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I think that is the last one, and then we'll call today. We've kept guys here for 3 hours. I don't want anybody's wife to jump on me. Ari, you've got the floor. Last speaker. Ari, that's Mr. Deji Roth.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you so much, Carlo, for this opportunity to speak. I've worked in seed regulation for the last decade in Nigeria, and I've had an opportunity to see a lot of data and a lot of interventions into developing the seed system in Nigeria. And I must say it's quite interesting. For GMO, it's been in the pipeline since 2016. I tweeted a little about it back then. GMO, I would say at this point, I think it is a misplaced priority for a couple of reasons. Number one, in Nigeria, there are more than 100 maize varieties in circulation that have been developed, that have been marketed, commercialized by seed companies. These include OPVs, these include hybrids, and they are doing very well. There are some OPVs that are doing as high as 5 tons per hectare. There are some hybrids that are doing as high as 12 tons per hectare. The highest yielding hybrid in Nigeria, which is by some foreign companies, is doing about 12 tons per hectare. And I would say those parental materials were brought from Brazil, some from USA. And they had retired these varieties more than 15 years ago in those countries. And yet they are doing so well in Nigeria, and everybody's going after those varieties. I consulted for the company about 3 years ago, and the seeds are still there. So the kind of thing that they're bringing, the argument is that the GMO, they help in drought tolerance, so you can grow them when the water content, rainfall is low, or it helps you to fight against armyworm. There are some other varieties, conventional organic varieties that can be promoted, that have been released by IAR, a lot of breeders. There is LNTP maize, low nitrogen, that, even with low nitrogen, you can still grow them and get reasonable yield, considering the cost of fertilizer in Nigeria. So promoting GMO at this critical time, you still need a sizable quantity of fertilizer to grow them. That is one. Number two, there's a new armyworm resistant variety that is released by Value Seed, and it's being commercialized already. So this one's have stronger resistance against armyworm attack. I've seen them on trial fields at multi-locational trial fields and all that. So there are a lot of things into it. So when you look at the intent of those pushing hard for this, you have to think that what is the genuine interest of them in Nigerian food security. And we have to be careful also. Whoever controls your seed system or your seed security will have a strong leverage controlling your food security. Yeah. So, a lot of things are in it. So we have to look closely at it. There are some other varieties that can be promoted apart from GMOs, and the system allows for it. They are already in conventional circulation. Another thing I will say as I tie up my point is that there is rights of farmers to have access to safe seeds. GMOs, most of them have terminator genes, and people are questioning about that. So farmers, even smallholder farmers, they wouldn't be able to have access to safe seed. When you look at Nigerian demographic, more than 90% of Nigeria are smallholder farmers. They wouldn't have access to safe seed again. No, we are promoting certified seed, but some of these things we edge them out in a way. So there are a lot of things to consider, and we need to just, as a country, speak to ourselves, let the government know that this is what's best for us at this point in time, if we want to really achieve food security. So I think that's just my full point. I have some other points, but because of time, I would just like to yield the mic at this point. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Normally when we do a spaces, even if I'm not an expert in that space, I usually have a position, maybe I'm for or against, but I try to do the hosting, right? This is an interesting space, I didn't have a for or against, but I was going to learn. And just as I was about to learn, I was pulled back into reality that Nigeria really has got to fix the problems, the basic problems. It's not an issue of AI. It's like we're trying to do AI when we don't have NEPA. That's really what I'm hearing. We've got to go back and really start from the very, very beginning and say, what is really the problem? If the problem is lack of yield, then we have to mechanize. If the problem is climate change, then we do irrigation. If the it's a very, very simple solution, but it looks like we have a problem with our kids can't go to school. So we say, let's go and buy Elon Musk's neural chip and put in the kids' brain so they don't have to go to school. That's what I see happening. We're trying to get too technical for a very, very simple issue. I mean, if there's a controversy about something, but there's a solution that has no controversy, then it's an easy place to just say, go for the solution without controversy. If we already have hybrids that can do most of what we're doing, and GMO has got all this, I'm hearing the gene can be shot off and on, blah, blah. It sounds a bit too complex for me. perhaps we should just go to the hybrid and then focus more on the yield, the irrigation, the greenhouse, the fertilizer. Do the basics first before we then go into, okay, we want to do GM for something specific. Maybe we want to plant crops that can drain the mangrove forest, or want to plant crops that can, survive something in some desert, that can grow trees in a desert to have a green belt. That would be more of a GM for me, but I don't see. I think if I'm the farmer in Abia, it's cheaper for me. But someone is telling me that it's cheaper for me today. But if that seed gets to my farm, I'll pay you. How do I cost that? So even the cost argument I was making is going out the window. But again, it's what the government again has failed to communicate. They might have a better reason. Maybe the folks up here are all anti-GMO. Maybe there's a good reason why they brought GMO. But have they communicated? The guys that own this space, the agricultural space, say they haven't communicated. My own is more finance. This space I'm holding because of the target between food and inflation. But you can see most of the guys on this space, you can say we just let this guy talk, and we're even a bit more worried. They haven't done a good job to communicate this. And even if they've communicated this, I don't think they've done a good job in identifying what the problem is. Because once you don't identify the problem, anything can solve it. But if you identify the problem, then it's very, very simple, what to do. So I'm sure, I think more work needs to be done. That's how I put it. I think you should be very careful. If it's not broken, don't try to fix it. Agriculture is not broken, but I think we haven't even tried to fix it in the first place. So maybe we should try to fix it in the first place before we say it's broken and then bring in some new things. So that's my take, guys. So Niger Farmer, Ahmed, Belumi, Najib, Haruna, Farmer Law, all of you that have come to our space this Sunday, just talk to us and educate us. We are very grateful and we thank you. Niger Farmer, please, I'm going to hold you to bring in that guy that can come and talk to us about how we can set up in a one room in Ikeja, small space, or one room in Benue, how we can grow tomato or yam. Because that conversation, we didn't have it in this space. It got slowed up. But we want to also have an urban farmer space where we can learn as non-farmers how to grow food that we can eat. We eat tomato, we eat yam, not rice, but pepper. How can we start? What we need to give us a few tips: boiling milk, putting banana peels in the soils. Those sort of things are what we need so that as urban farmers, we can grow tomatoes and perhaps stretch that budget more and more and more. That's what we want to do. That's what we'll do on this space as well. So please, sir, I'm going to hold you to that, bring that guy over to us so we can ask him those questions. For all those listening, I hope you're not discouraged. I think you've heard lots of things today. Go back and ask questions. Go to your local government area, ask them what they're doing about agriculture where you live. That's just the only way things change can happen. You've got to hold your own folks to account, not the federal, local, state. Hold them to account right there. Look at what's happening in Kenya. These are the same kids that are protesting. So go to your local government area and hold them to account. Even hold them from that direction. So there's change, because we can't continue like this. If rice is going up by 189% in 1 year, this is official number, 189% rise from Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, then what's the unofficial number? Maybe 300? Then how do you survive in this country? It's not possible. So let's do better. That's what let's just do better. Again, guys, thank you so much. We're here every weekend, every Sunday, 7 p.m. We're making topical issues on economics, finance, and personal finance. We make it personal to you. We bring in an expert, or we speak among ourselves, and the idea is to learn and to get better. So thanks all for tuning in. Hope you guys do tune in next week when we'll be here again. On that note, thank you, sirs. Niger Farm, I'm going to give you your closing speech because you are the co-host and guest, and then we'll call today, sir. Niger Farm? Okay, we're going once. I don't know if you're speaking, but if you're not, sir, I will end the space on your behalf. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. You guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you all on Monday. Have a good one.